Our last speaker for today is Daniela Draghici. She is a level 3 ESD instructor and a member of ESD Europe. Since discovering ESD in 2022, she has trained more than 1,300 people through 72 workshops, working with an exceptionally diverse range of communities, including refugees, feminist activists, LGBTQ plus people, Roma families, police officers, university students, and institutionalized children and young people. Daniela will talk about an activity she created for Bolt Ridesharing Lady Drivers. Over to you, Daniela.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, this lady next to me is the PR person from Bolt, Romania, who found me on the internet. I didn't go to Bolt, Romania, and she found me and thought it would be a great opportunity to gather some drivers, some clients, and some journalists for an ESD training, which she didn't know at that time what that consisted of. She had no idea what it was, but she imagined that it's something empowering women. So she contacted me by email, actually, and asked me whether I had time to to conduct a workshop. And you can imagine I immediately jumped to the opportunity and gave the spiel about ESD and sent her one pager about my activity in training in ESD and also my training that I had, so she would know exactly what I'm capable of, I guess. Then we scheduled a workshop on the most important day because it was fall already, and November 25 was coming, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And I conducted it. So it pays to have a one-pager so you can showcase yourself in a way. And it also pays to be on the internet and post. As Linda was saying in the beginning, yes, I do a lot of posts. It's true. I post on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. Okay. So I'm still in contact with her, but let me tell you how it started. Oh, no. Yeah. We started with 18 lady drivers, clients, and one journalist and psychotherapist at the same time, aged 24 to 57. I only knew one of the participants. I had no idea who they were. They did not know each other. So we were complete strangers because Bolt is set up in such a way that it's one person who's the communications person, the PR person. It's another person who spreads the word about a workshop. And it's so that person was not in communication with me to let me know who the women were. But anyway, I told them what ESD is, what kind of impact it can have. And I was delighted, frankly, to see that Bolt Romania has such a unique experience to gather women and teach them something like that. And I wish some other companies would adopt this model. So we started with sharing mishaps. And in other words, they shared what they liked and what they disliked about being a driver, and some things that did not go the way they had planned. Because usually you get as a boat driver, you get an order from somebody, you don't know what the person looks like, what the person smells like, whether the person is drunk. And once one client told me, I mean, one of them told me, I once had a client who wanted me to make a stop to pick up another client, because you can do that, who was wanted by the police. When I refused, he threatened me verbally. Some clients think that I'm a woman, so anything goes. So they're women, anything goes, and they treat them like that. They do not treat the men the same way. That's discrepancy right there, right then and there. Or a testimonial from another client. The most serious incident took place last night. After I got out of the Bolt car, a man started following me all the way to the front door of my apartment building where I live. I was so scared, and I didn't have the courage to go into the stairwell because he wanted to follow me inside and probably come up to my apartment. I walked past him and immediately called a member of my family to come get me. The whole time the man followed me, and I had no idea what his intentions were. I stayed outside, terrified, until someone from my family came downstairs. So that's another story that is really bad. Prior to this workshop, I had conducted my own research ad hoc, not a scientific research in any way, just with some 10 female and male Bolt drivers who I was running with during rides, and male passengers also. And I asked them about the interaction of their colleagues, female colleagues, and them and their clients, if they knew anything about that. They didn't really know, and they gave me very little information. But the truth is, they were reluctant to give out such information. So, for instance, uh, I mean, from my research, has it happened to you that you have a male passenger who's drunk, and actually they don't know if they are drunk until the passenger gets in the car, because they can smell their breath. Otherwise, they don't know. From the app, you don't know what the passenger looks like or is if is drunk. And ask them to have you asked them to step out of the vehicle if they don't want to take a chance? I mean, there were these sharing of stories that were not many, because, as I said, they were reluctant and we did not know each other. So we needed some time to get closer and build a trust to be able to talk to them. Anyway, we went over this. I don't know why it does that. And then during the next exercise, we went into some more. I had this woman on the right who's the journalist and psychotherapist, and her presence actually mattered a lot because she could interpret some of the mishaps that were happening. With this exercise, the identifying weak and strong parts of the body, they they had to imagine what parts of the body they could use in the car, because they had to keep one hand on the wheel and they could only use one hand, and how to do that. And that was pretty tricky. And she helped us with some of her case studies, let's say, um, from her practice, not with Bolt female drivers, but with other clients, and what can happen. Then I showed them the strikes, and again, then I showed them some strikes, and they were really happy. They were really into the strikes because they exercised and loved them. They felt so empowered, and they really liked the physical part of uh, of the training, because they did not expect it. They did not expect anything. They expected some verbal interaction, but they never expected anything physical. And that also shows in their evaluation. And then I asked them to exercise and to hold the pads. And holding the pads gave them importance and control. And yeah, and they were really, really happy to be. Look at this one. This one on the left, she was tall. She was really very much into it. And it made them feel the power of holding a pad and being in control. And that was something they really worked with. Plus, they worked with a partner they did not know, and they started making friends. And then they exchanged partners, and they make more friends. It was really very, very intense and very nice. Oh, this exercise, when let me in and let me out, that gave them a chance to invent all kinds of excuses, all kinds of role plays and use their verbal communication skills, which they use most of the time in their day-to-day activities. And they exercised the power of conviction, and they had a lot of fun. And they were, and again, this lady who's saying no with her eyes and her posture, not verbally. And they had a lot of fun with this exercise. And you asked about role plays. I did use role plays in this one, where this young woman was being ridiculed for being too young and too pretty. And the young lady had to experience her feelings with being ridiculed for being too young and too pretty during the exercise. But she had a lot of fun, actually, with a male partner who was actually the PR lady's boyfriend and photographer. Yeah. So she experienced her feelings during that situation. In the end, she had a lot of fun, and even another colleague, a woman, wanted to play the bad guy. She wanted to see what a bad guy feels like, what she would say, what he would say, what he would, what unpleasant situations he could get her into. Well, at the second time, actually she was laughing because it had become very funny in the end. Now with this exercise, the traffic light, you can see that nothing is on green because that's the real situation of women in Romania. Uh, this they encounter all kinds of bad situations, and these were very tough ladies who couldn't, and you couldn't fool them, and they were really very strong, and uh, and their responses to the situations was really, really very strong. Like when there was a situation, she hurt my dog. No way. I mean, really strong. They were shouting like that, and then they were looking accusatorily in to the situations, and that's how they also evaluated the situations, and the whole workshop. As a matter of fact, one said, "I found the training very useful as it helped me get out of my comfort zone," which is probably what most people would say after such a workshop. Notions of consent should be taught as early as 10 years old, which is very early, but still very true to do that. Another one said, "I really enjoy the physical techniques as I was not prepared for them. I figured that I was in my head and realized everything changes when in a real situation." Yeah, that's also true. And another one commented, "Tell is really important for us because we have to know where to go, who to talk to, what number to call in case of aggression." And you'll see later on that this is going to get fixed pretty soon. And another one commented, it has helped me regain my spirit that I can defend myself. That's really needed for schoolgirls in primary and secondary school. Yeah, and I heard that from other clients actually, that it's good that early to start this. And I've been meaning to go to schools, but it hasn't really happened, only in high school. Another one commented, I've learned how to overcome the first reaction, freezing, which is also important for them. Another one commented, I've lost the fear and embarrassment I felt in the beginning. So I'm going to start acting accordingly because I know men are not going to stop being violent. So they knew that. And but their confidence, the confidence they had at the end of the training, that was fantastic. Now, what I've learned from them is that some instances when lady drivers are harassed by male passengers, they do not acknowledge or report the cases. Rather, they try to escape using calm but firm verbal communication and all resort to asking clients to get out of the car or call the police if they think their life is in danger. I met a lady driver separately. She was not in the workshop, who was also a lawyer, and she knew the rules. And she ended up in a neighborhood that was not at all safe. And she told the guy, do you want to end up like this, like this? This is going to happen to you if you continue with this. But she knew it. So these lady drivers were not lawyers, but if you find one who's also a lawyer, that's really fantastic. And frankly, if given another chance, I would conduct more research to explore situational analysis topics to include in my ESD for ride-sharing lady drivers, as there are two more companies. There's Uber and Blue. So maybe it might work for them. But because the the PR person and we had a journalist, and the PR person sent a press release. We were also in the media, and the headlines say empowerment to self-defense workshop for lady boat drivers and passengers organized on the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. So that's how most people found out about this day and the importance of this day. Another headline is, how do we protect ourselves from aggressors? Practical advice. How to use your voice as an instrument of protection and how to manage your fear and the freezing mode. And that's exactly what they learned during this workshop. And Bolt organized a training for de-escalating conflicts for both lady drivers and passengers. That's just a headline. But I hope this is not going to end like that, because what's new is that the National Agency for Equal Opportunities between Women and Men, ANES in Romanian, and Bolt Romania have just announced, I mean, recently, 1 month ago, announced a new partnership dedicated to preventing and combating gender-based violence and gender discrimination, which is fantastic. On May 28th, the International Day of Action for Women's Health, they announced that the toll-free number 0800 500 333, a hotline for victims of domestic violence and gender-based discrimination and human trafficking, is going to be within the Bolt app in 47 cities across Romania, which is fantastic. In addition, the collaboration also includes psychological and legal support and hopefully future ESD training sessions organized by ANES for Bolt partner drivers, with the aim of increasing their ability to respond in situations where people need and request guidance on accessing services. The helpline is intended for victims as well as witnesses, friends, or family members who wish to report a case of domestic violence or discrimination. It offers specialized assistance, counseling provided by specialists in social work, psychology, and legal field, and hopefully ESD provided by me in future. Thank you very much for your attention. That thing with Anes is really something.
Thank you, Daniela. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Maybe you can close your presentation and so you'll be on the screen. Just say press stop sharing up. Yeah, that's it. So one question is regard that story you told us in the beginning about the woman who went home and was followed. And did you take the chance to show her that she actually used ESD principles to protect herself in that, using tail and everything? And yes, excellent.
Yes, I did, but she wouldn't dare. She wouldn't dare. She wouldn't dare do anything at that time.
No,
I
no, I
mean,
meant that during her story, she actually
yeah.
used self-defense principles to get to, she called someone, she asked
Oh,
them to come.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, to come get her. Yes. Yes, I
Mhm.
did specify that. And
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah, just to call their attention to the five principle all the time. Every time
Mhm.
somebody said something or did something, I call their attention to one of the principles. Yes. I
Great.
actually still tell was the most important one. Yes.
Yeah, and
Thank
my
you.
next question is about Tel. Did you feel that this group that hasn't of people that didn't know each other? Did you feel that there was a connection created? Maybe some sort of optional support from one person to another? Because it felt to me
Yes.
like the Bolt women are kind of lonely
Yeah,
in their car. So if they
you're
have
right.
another person that they can call and just discuss whatever happened.
Yeah, they have another app that is only for Bolt drivers, and they can communicate among themselves. So they
Mm-hmm.
can warn themselves if the traffic is bad or something like that. That's but they're not using it properly. I mean, some drivers told me that they say stupid things during the on that app, so they didn't really trust that app a lot. But yeah, yeah, that's that's a good question, and also. I told them all the time that they should communicate among themselves. The only time when they really felt they worked together was during the exercises. It started with the
Mm-hmm.
strikes, and then with the other exercises when they did everything role plays and saying no, and they
Yeah.
invented scenarios, what to say. They did find out more about each other. I don't know if they're still in contact. I've never met any of the women I worked with, and I don't know. I
Ah,
mean, their number keeps growing, so I don't know. But there is a Bolt for women, a separate app from the Bolt in that is initially Bolt for women, and you can call a woman. So I always
mm,
try to find a
yeah.
woman.
There's another question from Tamzin here. She says,
Yeah.
"Great talk, Daniela. Thank you. Can I ask, do you have any specific exercises or teachings to help with the freeze response you talked about?"
Ah, well, the very first exercise, well, when I introduced them to test their reactions in a way, and that is sort of telling them I formed two lines, and in secret, I talk to one line to advance toward the other line in a very friendly manner, and midway, they have to change their attitude completely and become ferocious and fierce and scare them and try to scare them to see if they have any reactions. And most of them do not have any reactions. And that's the kind of freezing that it's talking about, but some of them actually put their hands in front of their face without even knowing about the stance. It's just it just comes to them naturally to put their hands in front of their face, take a step back. They do take a step back and put their hands in front of their face, and I guess that's the freezing attitude that I'm trying to counteract. Other exercises, I don't know. What would you suggest, Tanzin? Would you suggest something?
No, not particularly, Daniela. I was just interested to see because I think the freeze response is so hard, isn't it?
Yes, it's hard to
they
overcome.
can't train. It's very hard to train someone out of it.
If
and
you
you
repeat it
explain
many
it.
times, yeah.
Yeah, but I
If you
don't know.
repeat it, then
Sorry, you
yeah.
go.
Then I asked uh, the other line to do something different, to start very fast, for instance, and see how the other line reacts. It's very difficult indeed, and each person reacts differently. But once they learn how to do that, how to put their hands in front of their face and take a step back, but I'm telling you, they do it instinctively. They do it somehow without even being taught what to do, or they strike somebody, or I don't know, they do it, they just do it.
Sometimes I'll use in the follow me game, I'll use quite a loud
Yes.
sound to indicate when they have to turn around to each other.
Mhm.
And they're not expecting it. And sometimes that makes them freeze, but as they're doing it, they're doing the pose. But my
Yeah.
only worry about it is that obviously if anyone has any triggers, really we should be forewarning them about what to expect. So it's a really difficult balance. You obviously want to sort of show them that this response happens, but then how do you train it out of them without putting them through the experience in some way? It's very hard. It's very hard. I don't know if there's an answer. I was just interested to see what approach you take.
Yeah, throughout the session, with all the exercises, they actually do something and they no longer freeze, actually.
Thank you. Great talk.
Yeah.
Linda, you wanted to ask something? Linda?
Yes, I need to unmute. Great talk, Daniela. As to the freeze response, I just wanted to comment. I sometimes advocate the freeze response. It's one of these sort of natural responses, and especially we women, we tend to beat ourselves up. But let's remind ourselves that there are situations where freeze is quite helpful. And the other way how to get out of freeze is often linked to the use of voice, to any shouting and activization. So this is just an idea, and I loved your exercise with the two lines and secretly giving us I would heads up to others to change the behavior. So thank you for that, and excellent idea, excellent proposal. Congrats, and glad that Romanian women will have helpline.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very important, and it could be happening in other countries because it's an Estonian company, and they communicate, and maybe they will do it in other countries. I don't know. But for now, it started in Romania. This connection and this partnership with Anes, and they will get more advice from psychologists and from social workers and from legal stuff also.
Well, definitely, I will approach them.
Yes, do that, please.
Gentiana?
Yes, I was to add a little bit on the freeze response that Tamsin was asking. So that is something that I work throughout the whole training. Like when we talk about awareness, when we talk about being present, when we make contact with our hands, when we're focused on our breathing, using our voice helps to unfreeze ourselves in a situation of anxiety or panic or fear and so on. And then also when it comes to the physical techniques, working in layers, it helps. So at the beginning, everything is choreographed. But then little by little, when we move the pad in different angles, different heights, and then when we do the role playing with or without the physical techniques, that is all in function to the to break that freeze response that we want. So if it's different, if we intentionally want to keep quiet and want to keep distant, like what Linda was saying, there is a form of strategy. And also there are other tools that we can use in order to break that freeze response. So that is some of the exercises that I use throughout the training.
Also, during the role play that we had with the young and pretty driver who was being ridiculed for that. Also, we used the freeze response because she was surprised. She was very surprised when she was attacked like that from behind. You can imagine. Yeah.
Right. So in the comment, Julie wrote, lots of potential with this group. There is a service in Washington, D.C. that is all women drivers for women passengers. And regarding the freeze, I suggest taking an obvious breath. Also, thank you all so much. Bravo to all of you. Second, what Gentiana says, I have to go. Still work. Okay. Still work day today. And say thank you, Julie, for being here.
They also
Any
use
other
their
questions?
voice. Yeah.
So, if there are any other comments or questions, if not, then I would like to thank you all for being here.